Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over UFC 300. Going to be giving you my picks and my little predictions. We're going to get right into it. Davidson Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. I'm picking Figueiredo. I think he's going to nuke the chin of Garbrandt. I think Garbrandt spent a whole career relying on physicality, youth and physicality. And now that both are starting to fade, he never really put the time in to develop the skill to balance that decline out. And I think he's going to get hurt. I think he's going to get knocked out. I think it's going to take Figueiredo 2 rounds. I think he's going to hurt him in round 1 and finish him in round 2. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. I'm picking Bobby Green. I'm a Bobby Green fan. I'm not going to lie. There's definitely some bias there. And I do think Jim Miller's probably going to win as well. But what can I say? I'm a loyal fan. So I'm picking Bobby Green over Jim Miller. But if you want a safe bet, I'd pick Jim Miller. Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. I'm picking Andrade. I think there's just more to Andrade's game. I think Rodriguez isn't that far behind, but it's going to be noticeable. And I do think it's going to be a boring fight anyway. So, boring decision in favour of Andrade. Jarlin Turner versus Renato Moicano. I'm picking Moicano, but Turner's a big dude. He's big, he's tough, and it's a tough matchup for Moicano. I feel I think Moicano just turns up the pressure. I think he just keeps the pace high and he just keeps pushing. And I think eventually Turner wins, and I think Moicano gets the sub. Moicano by submission. Sadiq Youssef versus Diego Lopez. I'm picking Lopez by boring decision. I just don't think Youssef has much to offer Lopez. Yeah, that's all I have to say on it. I feel like it's a bit of a mismatch. I think Lopez handily beats Sadiq Youssef. Just say a unanimous decision. Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. Another boring decision I think it's going to be. And I'm going to say Harrison takes it. Holly Holm's old. She's only getting older. And Harrison's supposed to be the next big thing in women's MMA. She's like a rising star in women's MMA. A much anticipated star in women's MMA. So, yeah, we'll go with Harrison over aging Holly Holm. Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. I think Aljamain's going to do what he always does. He's going to be a human backpack. I don't think we're going to see anything wildly different. I think he gets the submission. Yeah, I think he gets a submission. Either a submission or he just rides Kattar on, rides Kattar's back to a decision. But I could see him getting the sub. I think he's technical enough to achieve it. Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic. I'm picking Yuri, but I do like Rakic for the matchup. I do like Rakic for the matchup as well. I'm going to stick with Yuri as my pick. It's going to be a fun fight either way. I think it's going to be a war. And I think Yuri comes out on top. But I could see the arguments for Rakic. I do see the argument for Rakic. I think I picked Rakic at first, but I've talked myself into Yuri Prohaska. So Yuri Prohaska it is. Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. I'm picking Bo Nickel, obviously, via struggle cuddle. He's the lock of the year, apparently. But wouldn't it be really, really funny if Brundage just came out and fucking slapped him? Or better yet, subbed him. Like he just jumps a guillotine and he holds onto it for like 3 minutes before the ref either stops it, even though there's no tap, or Bo Nickel's just like, fuck it. Okay, I'll tap. But yeah, Bo Nickel via struggle cuddle. I think everyone agrees. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Sayukian. Going with Charlie Olives. I think Sayukian starts out strong, but I think that's just how Oliveira fights. I think everyone starts out, even if you're a slow start, you start out strong against Oliveira because he lets you, for some reason. And I think if he gets hurt, he's just going to fall to his back. I don't think Sayukian's going to want to mess with the guard of Oliveira, one of the few people who has an offensive guard, if you will, an effective one anyway. Um, yeah, I'm going to go with Charlie Olives. I think, yeah, I'm going to go with Charlie Olives. I think Charlie Olives by knockout. I think he's going to get a cool knockout. I think he's going to get hit, and then he's going to get the knockout, as is every Charlie Olives fight. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. I'm picking Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway is going to be a new breed of fighter when he steps in there after bulking up. He's done it right. He's had a slow bulk up. He's put on the power and he's not given up as much speed. Is what I'm hoping. And I think he dismantles Gaethje. I think Max needs to be worried about the low kicks of Gaethje. You don't see the low kicks of Gaethje so much anymore, but it's the low kicks of Gaethje that Max needs to be worried about. And I think the key to victory for Gaethje is the low kicks, but I think even Gaethje's kind of forgotten about how effective his low kicks are. So yeah, I'm going with Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway's going to knock him out. I think the added weight gives him more power, and I don't think he's going to have traded that much speed to acquire it. He's taller and he's longer as well, I believe. So everything's in Holloway's favor. Um, I think it's if Holloway isn't the favorite, I think it's a mismatch. Obviously Gaethje's the BMF champ, but you know, uh, Holloway's going to win it by knockout, TKO. Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. I've had to try and record this one like 3 times because I keep tripping over their names. I'm picking Weili. In my extremely professional opinion, extremely professional, Weili is an example of where women's MMA should be right now. Like, Weili is an evolution of the sport. And not to say she's the only one, there are a few women in the UFC that are uh, of this echelon, if you will. To say it's of a high height, but it's where they should be now. Because as the sport progresses, so should the fighters and so should the styles. And Weili is an example of a really well rounded fighter. Um, Comfortable anywhere, dangerous anywhere. And if more female fighters aspire to be like Zhang Weili, the women's division wouldn't be so fucking boring. So I'm picking Zhang Weili. I think Zhao Nan's just going to get beaten up, to be honest. Um, I think Weili dominates most positions. Maybe he gets swept from a takedown. I could see that. I could see a Xiaonan tricky little sweep. But no, I think Weili dominates most positions in the fight. Um, I think she hunts the KO. I don't know if she'll get it. Obviously, the problem is women, don't have the same power as the guys do. But Zhang Weili's accurate, and she can put you away. So why not? She could do, and she can wrestle too. So why will I not? I'm picking Weili. Um, yeah, I think she's just going to beat her up. I think TKO or a unanimous decision for Zhang Weili. Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill, the main event, the creme de la creme. Alex Pereira is going to knock out Jamal Hill like cold. Like he's going to sting him. Jamal Hill's going to wake up 2 minutes later, like not knowing where he is and shit. Ugh. like Jamal Hill's punches just have him looking like a wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man most of the time. Like he's got these fucking Gumby arms that you just he's just so loopy and gangly, you know? It's it's not good form, we'll say. And I think Hill's overestimating his victory over a 42-year-old Glover, you know? Like I think he beat an old man because he could stuff takedowns, and he beat an old man because he could stuff takedowns, and now he thinks that he's going to be able to beat Alex Pereira in the stand-up. You know, I don't think so. Pardon me. There might be a third. No. Yeah, I think Hill's overestimating a win over a 42-year-old Glover Teixeira. I don't think beating Glover. I don't think stopping Glover from taking you down equates to beating Alex Pereira in a kickboxing match. I don't think it's the same thing. And I don't think Hill's going to wrestle him. I just don't. I think he's going to try and box with him. And I think Pereira's just going to fucking step inside one of those fucking gum whips. Fucking Jamal Hill looks like he's eating a devil fruit half the time. I think Pereira just steps inside, fucking maybe takes a forearm or the inside of an elbow to the side of the head, and he just lands a fucking crisp, perfect, clean left hook. Puts Jamal to sleep. Jamal wakes up 2 minutes later, like, where am I? Is the fight over? Absolutely dazed. It's gonna be brutal. I'm probably a humbling that Jamal Hill needs because fucking Glover and Pereira aren't this. I know Glover trains Pereira, but they're not the same dude, and they're from vastly different backgrounds. So to say they have a similar style in true, they've been complementing each other was kind of the agreement I think they've got. Is they used each other to complement each other's styles and make up for holes in each other's games. Pereira's going to win. Pereira's going to knock out Jamal Hill. Thank you for sticking around all the way until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. Subscribe too, I've got some funny videos out there. I've got one that's ranking all the martial arts from sussiest to least sussy. Peace and love. I'll see you around.